the Pantheon. These women and men of our great peninsula, now departed, the last among us still, whose interred bones lie in ancient homelands, unrenowned the world, abiding the subterrane of tribal memory. This day we honour this pantheon of the living and dead. Though dead, these spirits breathe life to our culture. Possessed with the fire of faith and sacrifice for future's sake. Pama, so brave, Jawangara, so faithful. They dug these wells. From obdurate stone, cold hearts of bloody legacy, they hewed, in blood sweat and swinging pain, the stony edifice of indifference when that great silence hung like a shroud over the land, leaving mute justice and equality for this noble people's kin. We are come with heavy hearts and swelling tears of memory, love, and incommensurate privilege, undeserving, compared their deep privations. Faces set strong against despair and hope's loss, the ceaseless struggle, steadfast patience and belief to cross Jordan to promised lands. So our great children will know themselves and stand the immemorial footprints of their forebears, mixed in the sovereign dust of native inheritance. We come to honour, for the world will scarce remember and never reverence our own. Duty falls upon us to dedicate, by hallowed law of our traditions, of these heroes never lose memory. Never let their names and more pass from eternal gratitude. For they be our inspiration, linked to the past, illumined our path to the present, and guiding our future. No people can prevail without memory. There can be no culture without orthodoxy. Without communal soul force we perish, and be aboriginal no more to this land. And so we bow heads this day, in honour and praise, to these whose love brought new succour, new hope, whose deep roots lie anchored in the radical soil of our forefathers. But hearken, today is great sadness and great beseeching, forgiveness for great debt. How can people granted with free hands such vivid wealth and easy pleasure, brighter prospects furnished in our daily bread, ensconced in restoration of our entitlements, the battle not yet won, but far too advanced. Our generals, warriors, strategists, philosophers, soothsayers, medicine women, and conjurers of magical potential, our children, enjoying the fruits of ancestral resolution that we should endure by will of sovereign God long on this earth. We are not ingrates who without grace and pause fail to hallow those who, possessing nothing, gave us everything. We are people faithful to service, obliged to respect. Amazing our fortune to have ones as these glide our canoes down beguiling rivers, hunting darkling forests, over steep mountainous climbs safely led, wading ginger swamps, in sanguine view that reptilian terror, our most pitiless kin. Our leader, this colossal man of Ngakayanka, oh, vanished youth, spent never so propitiously as at this mighty man's feet, Black Moses, among that band Zorzi called the greatest generation. Eam of that river Holroyd, pious friend to all things good, implacable foe of injustice, in old age unyielding, shades of youthful vigour still, Michelangelo's David in late evening repose, obsidian skin in ritual scars, barricades with such a man we gamely stormed. Next him, his brother, who swallowed the taipan's eye. Blue-eyed visionary, namesaked totem from Musgrave marched, a child in chains, wrenched his mother's arms. Stolen boy, old woman's wretched tears on infant footprints, wailing cold campfires of happier memories. To therefore that statesman Hobson, natural rhetorician, launched soaring this movement, cadenced with deep culture and evangelical infusion, the Baal Mission's illustrious all-soul scholar. From that river Nesbit, power of stunning argument. To his right, that wise warrior of the Y clan, charismatic philosopher general of Kiowa, hard of countenance, generous of heart, wielding fighting authority from fighting people, the Wick, the Dutch of Duifken, expelled by fierce fathers four. Than his, no greater battle imprimatur, no more sage tenderer of solicitude, like Pericles, urging patriots to civic duty on behalf righteous cause. Leadership, his presence all aspect exudes. My poor song, canst scant number all this Pantheon in lapidary memorial, Jacko, Gordon, Foote, Pablo, Creek, Bassini, Lawrence, Brumby, Blanco, Ropian, Hall, George, Musgrave, Flinders, Armat, Demal, Port, Tarpentia, Chiligo, Short Joe, Paulu, Ominu, Bosun, Wasiga, Sellers, Nelson, Liddy, Hollingworth, Guevara, Aiken, Friday, McGreen, Birchill, Kulka, Darkin, McLean, Salt, Patterson, Michael, Ross, Pearson, Ngalameta, Wybo, Walker, Ross Kelly, Gibson, Hart, Thankupi, Kerendon, Puchamanka, Kuwata, Tybingumpa, Chevethan, Rosendale, Woolla, Wombang, Brumby, Lakefield, Keppel, and more. Prodigious remembrance and copious gratitude. At their hands the sweet water of justice flowed, struck from parched stone, slaking thirst on rivers of their sweat. Oh, forget these names not. Our children fortify with their memory. Example our youth to follow. No lesson more profound did they impart than prior duty be our people serve. Provision without tire or dereliction, the future of our precious young, and secure some immortality in this mortal world. Is there humankind put more to trial than ours? Tribulation, grief, sickness, and short lives seem our lot. Condemned by iron laws of destiny to gross disproportion of misery and mean prospects. Families asunder, a wreckage of bodies, children too numerous, from mothers' bosoms aliened, crying tears of rage and unremitting despair, yearning fair share and respite, by the world alleged inferior, languishing the lowest bottom of world privilege and weal. Thus it was not always. Oh, how we have fallen since that vandalous invasion, when the world of beauty, right and worth turned black to white, never again reversed, never again that terrible dialectic to resolve in harmonious equality. For to be white in this new cosmos is right. To be white is starting advantage, startling result after 53,000 years, when racial contempt and hatred never before shadowed this continent. It companied rats and roaches upon ships of sail, spilling vile cargo upon incorrupt shores, here to grow and thrive on bloody frontiers of massacre, disease, and theft of estates, hitherto held under deeds of natural right and law in native owners' hands. That racism, now flamed in virulent ideology, premised upon assumed bestiality of black people, at best primates, and worse, vermin shot and poisoned, the casual parsimony of colonial genocide, its waste and remnant still today seen in gutters, crannies, and camps of unfair, brutal life in such fair city. It was into this doleful interregnum, since loss of paradise and descent into perdition, and their parents' struggle for survival out of ashes, the greatest generation came. Inculcated from the first with notions foreign to their ancestors, for injustice and racism, inequality and poverty thus far unknown. Happiness, tragedy, starvation, work and pleasure were parcel of tribal life. Nature's bounty gave plenitude and suffice. Sad day, sailing ships disgorged new tribes with new ideologies of beauty, right, and worth. When novel discovery of racial hierarchy, apartheid, and imperial right of Europe to world dominion formed these elders' mind frame, politics entered our world. Tribal politics always here but now new kind. When peoples driven diverse ways after Babel turned reverse, imperial plunder and colonial usurpation crushed the splendid isolation of tribes and shrunk the earth. It fell this Pantheon to lead from these vales of strife and ruin, the beacon light of vision, and start the long climb to sunnier uplands. Their work and determination up arduous cliffs of cold, unforgiving granite, with hope our only engine, and animations of doubt grasping from every crevice, tripping our path, impeding our progress, jealousing our future, envying earth's most wretched. How perverse to resent the lowliest better lives. No matter these travails, these elders set us on the path of righteousness, to ever rail against injustice and prejudice. All gains made these years since are to their spirits owed. Far below, base camp recedes, but the summit sought, clouds obscure. Danger and calamity still challenge the path ahead, but this odyssey will never pause till our last child can her own life choose and with good reason value. One word of warning. We sail parlous straits, siren songs on every side, the cause these elders their lives devoted imperiled, because those in their wake little know struggle and fight. Sacrifice is not their ken. The need for struggle, unabated still, and setbacks, backlash, necessity to read out our gains, ever abides. Funds of opportunity curated by those who struggled and gave selfless chance to the future, which their time denied, is now easy leverage for opportunists who decline to carry their weight in fight. Easy advantage gained from conniving those who oppose our dignity. For them to sidle those whose purpose has ever been to resist our progress, dishonour this Pantheon, and shame noble motivation. Those who abuse the tools of opportunity to betray the cause for which on hot anvils these levers were forged, for what they are, see them, rank opportunists, seduced by personal gain. For 30 silver pieces be for such as these a great and seductive power. True balance and equanimity between regard for self, filial duty to one's people, and fealty to our communal hearth is for our young their greatest challenge. To guise personal gain at communal expense, will this heritance rankle and dishonour our elders? Forsake but never forget those darkest days when as wild dogs our great parents were shot and incarceralled upon that infamous island. Recall mayhem, dispersal, and murderous genocide, too oft wrought at hands of troopers of native origin, cavalries of Judas on horseback, who tracked and hunted, bludgeoned and chained, and sold out for rations and a mess of pottage their own people. All for the glory of uniforms, handsome livery, and age-old desire to please their cutthroat masters. How could they they oppose native title of their brethren and tear down educational chances of their own children to be new pack horses for old colonial cause. As this song's end draws nigh, we recite the tale this old taipan man told in rampant days when troopers stalked our peninsula. With brother a stockyard on Morad building, in hottest day through hardest ground for their boss, white station owner. In distance, a caravan of horses in chains, a line of black humans leading, neck-bound to Laura. Their dry commentary, here come another mob of cattle. A woeful stock of human bondage. On horseback, native troopers led this funereal gang stumbling, walking, white sergeant in lead. Weltering heat. From afar, this sad procession seemed half carrying, half dragging between chains some log or bundle. When near they saw an old woman dead, still bondaged to her fellows weighing. After pause the dismal caravan moved on, till brothers emboldened plead the boss, intercede the sergeant that they may take and bury the woman, for it was their aunt. Their boss replied if they would brave the furnace sun and stony ground to dig a grave, it was up to them. Boss, the callow youth replied, we digging holes anyway. If I knew these men and women, if I knew the content of their hearts, the convictions of their souls, it was to bequeath our children the means for our nations to long prosper this earth. Let us our resolve redouble. Let us our devotion increase to this cause which thus far this Pantheon so nobly advanced.